I'm Dylan, and welcome to Twisted Rich Garage. What's up, YouTube, and thanks for joining me on another episode of Twisted Wrench Garage. We have here a 1984 Dodge W150 four-wheel drive with a 360 automatic that we were able to pick up from my buddy Ben here. He was able to make a trade offer on it, so we're actually going to start cleaning up on this old girl. We have come out here once already because he wanted to get a good look at her. We did clean up some of the engine bay beforehand, and I'm going to show you some pictures of the beforehand, and this thing was gross. So you guys should see those now. But as we go through this, we're going to go ahead and start vacuum out this engine bay, start from there so we have a good understanding of what we need to start with when it comes to finding out of will this truck run. I don't have any doubts it will, but we're going to find out for sure. So tag along as we go through the process of getting this old girl back on the road. All right, we got it as cleaned out as best we can. Got down inside there. Got it nice and vacuumed out. It's still all oily and greasy. There's still some residue left over, but I mean the carburetor itself was plumb full, and you guys can tell that just from the picture. But we got it nice and cleaned out. We went ahead and deleted on some of the vacuum lines that go in that corner over here, that run over here, go to the carburetor, go to this vacuum temperature switch, and then go to another vacuum port at the back. Those will all end up getting capped off. Just wanted to get rid of all that to begin with, just so we didn't have to deal with any kind of vacuum leaks to start with. And then we'll just go with the bare necessities when it comes to that. We went ahead and deleted the charcoal canisters that were in this truck here. Those aren't needed either, so that's just going to free up a lot more room, and also with some vacuum lines that go with that. We'll end up getting rid of that box eventually. Next steps we're going to definitely need to do is sort out the wiring. We're going to need to, I don't know if it's still recording.
It is, got the red lights.
Okay, so and we're also going to need to disconnect the fuel pump from the tank, and we'll pull the carburetor off and maybe go through it real quick, kind of give it a good clean over. And the inside the carburetor was plumb full of like rat feet or mouse feces and God knows what else. So we're going to go ahead and pull that carburetor off, and we will clean out that intake, make sure it's nice and clean. We're also going to pull out the plugs and throw some Marvel Mister oil in the cylinders and let that sit. I'll probably do that another day. We ran out of time today, and he's only in town for the day. He wanted to come out and make the deal go ahead and go final, and come out and just get some cleaning done on it, because just like me, he hates to see all that mess. So we did get it for the most part cleaned out. The inner fender over there is just plumb full of stuff. We'll have to get that out eventually. I mean, that fender is going to need some work anyways, and the driver fender itself is going to need some work too, but it's not near as full over there. But yeah, it's looking a lot better in here, a lot better than it did. Give you guys a good look over the truck, I guess. We haven't done that yet. We've already got a new front grille for it, new headlight bezels. Those he picked up in Wichita. He got a really good deal on those, so those will get replaced. The driver fender, as you guys can tell, you're looking down at it, you guys can see it's pretty rough. I mean, it's a four-wheel drive truck. It's had a life. It's silver and blue. It is a Royal SE model, so it does have all the extra trim. We still need to clean out the bed because it's been sitting here a while. Right up against the gate here. Exhaust, dual exhaust, looks like it runs all the way back to the back. Take a look inside here. So, the door panels aren't horrible. They could definitely use a good clean. Needs a new armrest. Probably replace some carpet down there, or put some vinyl in there. Definitely need to get the carpet pulled out, get it cleaned. But everything is here, and it did come from the factory. Well, after the factory sold it to the customer, they did go through and put these custom seats in. You see these in a lot of like OBS Chevys from like 88 to like 92, 95 area. You can see it is electric windows. I'm not sure about if it's electric locks or not. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. But it is overall a pretty clean truck. There is no rust on the truck when it comes to body wise. Take a look at this passenger side. Oh, there was one thing I was going to show you guys, and if you guys happen to know where I can find one, but this shift collar right here for his tilt column is actually busted, and the arm won't actually stay in position on there for us to be able to move this gear selector. So if you guys know where to find one of those, let me know, and we will try to grab that from you guys, because we would like to keep the tilt column in this truck. It's got a fancy little paint job on the hood and sides. It does look rough, guys. I get that it looks rough, but it will shine up. Because they tell you can't shine a turd, but I tell you what, you can. You really can. The bed sides are perfect, honestly. There's no rust in the floors. There's the passenger door. There's no rust in the floors. I mean, I've used my boots here and tried kicking as many holes in it as I could. You do see this little bit of damage here. I'm not quite sure what caused that, but he was able to snag another heater box for it too, and that was super nice. We did grab another column. It's a non-tilt column, but if we can stick with the tilt column, that would probably be beneficial. But definitely got some steps ahead of us when it comes to getting this truck all prepped and ready to go. The mice ate up all the spark plug wires over here. There's some wiring back by the coil and distributor that needs to be reattached and such. Some vacuum lines have been chewed through. Just the normal things you guys will see on a vehicle that's been sitting for so long. Ben, what did we find out on this one when the paper it was like 05 was the last time?
It looked like it on the dash.
Yeah, 05 was the last time this truck was on the road. So, and from my understanding, this truck was parked because of the owner actually passed away. So the owner passed away and the truck got parked. The wife actually parked it and she just never drove it. So that's where it ended up. So it ended up sitting for that amount of time. So we just need to get it back up and going. All right, we got her pretty cleaned out. Down inside the fender well there pretty well. Got all the intake manifold relatively clean. Still a little dirty back there by the distributor. Kind of hard to reach back there, but did find some wires that were chewed on, so we'll have to get those fixed. These right here were all completely full of just poo and sticks and bedding material. And even down underneath the air compressor there, you can now see the water pump. That was all plumb full. Same thing on the passenger side. They got all the plug wires on this side. They ate them all up, so we pulled those off. There is still some material back down inside the fender there. They stuffed it really full of stuff, but I got it as clean as I could for now, and then I'll pull the fender off. See, the what you guys were seeing is the afterwards of us coming out here, because the first day he came out and looked at it, we actually came out and we didn't have a vacuum with us, and we did clean it out by hand kind of, and we were just using some stuff around us just to kind of knock a lot of this stuff out. And you can see it's just all over the ground out here. It's on the leaf spring there. It's all over the ground. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna put a piece of cardboard down here so I can lay down here without worrying about getting any kind of diseases. Oh, and I'm actually going to jack up this axle so we can get a better tire on here, so we can get this old girl so where she can roll better, because we need to get her moved to a better location where we can work on her a little bit better. So let me get that done, I'll bring you back. All right, we got that wheel and tire off that truck. I don't think it would have lasted long or taken air again. So we're gonna get this popped off, and I've got some rollers. They're not super great, and I'll show you those here in just a second. All right, see, we have some rollers here. Again, they're not the best. Some Uniroyal Liberator ATs. You guys can probably see. Let me rotate it in the light so you guys can see a little bit better. She is a little cracked up, a little weather worn in between the treads. Sidewalls are a little cracked up, but they're going to do the job for right now. He wants to get a new set of tires for this thing anyways, but we just want to get it to where it can roll. So let's get this tire on here and we'll get it done. Alright, she's a roller again. Now we just need to get this old girl moved into a spot where we can better work on her. This other side, I was going to go ahead and swap too, but this other side's actually holding air, and both the back are holding air too, so we're good there. So we just need to get this thing moved up front. Then we can start getting her power washed underneath this engine base. We can actually start working on this old girl, because she is a gross. Alright guys, we're back out here again, messing with this 84 Dodge that we picked up from my buddy Ben. I came out the other day and I got it back in the air so it can actually roll around, because we're getting closer to the point where we can actually move it around the yard. And what we need to do is I need to pull this carburetor off, and I've already gone through the process of removing the kick-down cable with the spring, the return spring for the throttle, And then you got a choke, and then you got your cruise control right here as well. This is cruise control. This is your throttle cable. This is your kick down. 4 bolts. I removed the fuel line and vacuum lines that I saw were connected, so we should be free to come off. The butterflies were closed, so it doesn't look like a whole lot of stuff got down in there. We did get some, but not a whole lot. So we'll have to clean that out a little bit with the vacuum. We also plan to pull the plugs out and throw some Marvel mystery oil into her so we can let her soak overnight, because we're going to be back out here tomorrow to continue to work on her. Yeah, we'll have to vacuum it out some more. We got some more turds there. That's our choke. We aren't using that. You see some of our wires here. This is what we were talking about, wires being cut here. So we'll have to address those. Not too big a deal though. Doesn't look like they got a whole bunch. Looks like it's just this stuff back here. We got quite a bit of new stuff for it, so a lot of this will get fixed. That's one of the vacuum lines that we deleted. That's one of the vacuum lines we deleted. So we'll have to get the rest of that off. Get the caps on it. But get this spacer off here if I can. Try not to break this gasket. We might be able to reuse it. Voila. And gasket it for our spacer if it'll come off. Oh yeah, dirty. Yeah, we got some more stuff that we need to vacuum up here. See if I can get this off without dumping all that stuff inside of it. That is gross. Alright. But yeah, vacuum is gonna need to happen. Because we're also gonna pour some Marvel mystery oil in here. So this will actually go into all of our intake ports to lubricate the top of our intake ports. So we'll have those lubricating overnight, as well as the cylinders. We're gonna fill those with Marvel oil as well. Alright, so let's get that taken care of. Alright, got one of the plugs out. We're just going to do a little bit of reading on these plugs and see what they're going to tell us. I've yet to pull one out of this truck, so let's see how she was running.
Not bad.
You're good. Alright, let's see. A little black. Not horrible though. Not horrible at all. There's no rust or nothing on it. Give you guys a better view here. It's not super bad. There's our number one, or what is that? Number two. Set that there. Let's pull out the rest of these. This super tall truck here. Yeah, that one's about the same way. We're setting these over here in order how we've got them out. There's one of the old plug wires that the rats chewed up. Definitely been a minute since these have been out.
A little tight.
No, not super tight. It's just, yeah, they don't look super horrible. These don't look like they've got a whole lot of mileage on them. They still have quite a bit of the material on them. And these are AC Delcos as well. That's exactly what we're going to be putting back in it. Let me get in here, make it a little easier since I'm such a short guy. If I can. Ugh. There we go. If you ever want to know some of the things I like about these trucks, this is one of them. I can get into the engine bay and sit down and work. That one came out real good. A little dirty from all the crap that was in the area, but same thing. Just a little bit of carbon, nothing too bad. Looks like it may have been burning just a little bit of oil, but not super bad at all. So there's our passenger side. So at this point we're just gonna grab our funnel. I went and grabbed a funnel with a nozzle on it. That way we can actually put it into each one of these little spark plug holes and fill them up with Marvel Mystery Oil. Alright, so there's one. Thank you, good sir. We're just keeping an eye on it. We're just making sure once we get it to the filled spot, we don't want to overfill it. I think we're pretty much filled there. Well, maybe not. Because this all depends on where the piston is in relation to the motor here. Alright, that one's full. Move on to the next one. That one's full. Grab this back one first. That one's full. What I could of that one to get into that one. Alright, so number 5 is all the way up. So we can't really get any into number 5. It's all the way up at its top position. So we got a driver on all the other ones and all over the manifold as well. So now we just need to get the passenger side pulled. We'll do the same thing. I'm gonna let Ben go ahead and vacuum this intake and center section out before we do that. So let's get that taken care of. Alright guys, we're back out here again working on my buddy's truck that we snagged for him, the 84 Dodge W150 with the 360. A few things we got to do first before we can actually see if this thing's going to run, and before we plug the battery in, is actually fix some of these wires that were chewed on by the mice. We've got some coil wires that were chewed on. It looks like there's some wires that were chewed on the distributor, so we're going to want to try to fix that if we can. If not, we can throw a different distributor in. This is a dual pickup coil distributor, so it's a 4-wire distributor, not a 2. So if you do have to switch it out, you have to make sure you go with the same one. You can convert them. I just don't know how personally, but we got to get this coil out of our way so we can actually see what we've got going on back here. Is like I said, got some wires to fix, but it's not real horrible, guys. And I don't feel like, you know, I feel like anyone could really get this back up and going. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a lot of these wires repaired, and we'll get some of these new parts that we got in for it on, and we'll bring you guys back. So see you then. All right, guys. We were able to get all the parts on. We got new cap, new rotor, new plugs, new wires, new ignition control module. We've also got a new voltage regulator. I think he's going to need a new starter relay. But we went ahead and off camera got the carburetor rebuilt last night or the night before. I went ahead and made all those repairs so the wiring is needed. I just poured just a dash of fuel down that carburetor there. Let's see if we can fire this girl up. I think we're going to have to do the cross over the relay for this one. Help if we hooked up the battery, huh?
Yeah, Dylan. You gotta hook the batteries up.
The batteries are important. Let's go and get some good gas. I'll let it out anything I don't want.
Just trying.
It is.
Nice.
Can't get a good connection. Alright. Wonder if he's got something I can fill. Hold on, I can probably get it here. A little bit in the holes. Here. All right, I think that's probably good enough. There It runs! Victory!
All right.
Woohoo! I'm trying to get some in holes. If I had like a ketchup squirter or something, I could get it in there. A lot easier. Alright, we'll try again. I really like the way it sounds. I don't hear any lifter noise. Sitting here idling, dude.
Yeah.
The fan's dirty. Got crap in the fan. She is sitting here idling, dude. And look, it's off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heck yeah, dude.
Awesome.
That is awesome.
Cool.
You got a running truck.
You know?
Now you don't have to stress no more.
Not as much, that's for sure.
Now you just gotta hook up the gas tank and etc. And we'll be able to run it on its own gas tank. But I'm really pleased with this.
Oh, yeah.
Super pleased with this
Good.
truck.
Turn this on.
Definitely turned out to be a great deal. 360. We just rebuilt the carburetor, put on the new ignition parts, new plugs. We will put a new fuel pump on it. I'll probably get around to doing that this upcoming week. We're running out of daytime today. Today's Sunday, we're just running out of daytime, and he's got to get back to Wichita. So I think this is where we are going to call this video, guys. So I do appreciate you guys tuning in and hanging out with me while we were checking to see if this Dodge would fire up again. I'm glad we were proving that it will run. It'll probably drive. I didn't put it in any gears, so that'll be checked later. Just wanted to make sure that the engine was good. It did smoke a little bit from the marble we put into the engine, from the cylinders and the intake manifold, but I mean that's relatively cleared off quite well. I was just running it off of the old water bottle here. And she's idling really good. I mean, I haven't really adjusted the tuning on it or nothing. We need to still set the timing, and we need to adjust the carburetor for best performance there. But again, I'm super happy. We do appreciate you guys tuning in to another episode of Twisted Ridge Garage. Check you guys out on the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next time.